I'm not showing this to my mom. Mom, if you're watching, look away.
She's gonna be proud. She's gonna be proud.
Hello and welcome to the Nukta podcast. I'm Tamanna Sajid, and with me today is someone who was nice to me in high school. Oh, and also she's a businesswoman who was just named in Forbes Middle East 30 under 30 list. Please welcome Pupilar founder and CEO Maimuna Rashid.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Oh my God. Maimuna, the last time that we spoke, we were 15. And now I have the immense pleasure of interviewing you after such a huge achievement. You got to tell me, how did you celebrate? How did you find out?
Thank you so much, first of all, Tamanna, for inviting me and actually hosting me today at the Nukta studio. And it's so beautiful. We're reconnecting after 10 years.
It's insane.
Absolutely. Last time we reconnected was in high school when we, were doing our grade 10.
Yeah.
And 10 years down the lane, you're saying me a hi again directly at a podcast studio. Subhanallah. How do we celebrate? If I'm being honest, I didn't even know we made it to the list unless a friend of mine from the media network messaged me and then congratulated me with the link that we made to Forbes. For at least 30 minutes, it didn't hit me. This is the first time when we got a recognition where people were congratulating, reaching out to us rather than us making the announcement first.
And how did you celebrate?
So I think the moment I received such a beautiful news, I had to tell the team that we made it to the list, and thanks to every single person who contributed to that, so much so that even the picture that was taken to Forbes was done by one of our team member. You get it? And obviously we went the same night, day after, for dinner.
Before we move on a little too much, I need you to pretend that I'm an alien and I don't know anything here.
Okay.
And I need you to explain Pupil Art to me. What's the idea behind your business?
Pupil Art is in the mission of zero youth unemployment. We are daydreamers. You can call it the aliens. We're thinking like really big.
Wow.
But that's what ambitious people do. And today we are the UAE's biggest youth career community with more than 50 plus university, students part of our platform. With a database that's shooting up to 70,000 now. We've impacted lives that are beyond our counts, but at least, humbly speaking, 5,000 every single month that we are able to affect lives for. And the how keeps evolving. We do a lot of majlises where we bring in HR decision makers. We bring in young people from different walks of life to have collaborative conversations, because we believe that 80% of the jobs comes through networking, relationships. And in fact, the fact that I'm sitting in this studio was because I was nice to someone 10 years ago. And it's a people's game, right? Let's be honest about that. So Pupil is becoming a communal platform where we enable people to create opportunities and meet the right people.
That sounds amazing. But I do want to ask, how is Pupil Art different from other hiring platforms? What gaps in the market are you trying to fill?
So we are a community. When I say community, we have a little of many things that we do, right? We have a segment that focuses on hiring. We have a segment that focuses on workshops, a segment that focuses on networking, a segment that focuses on a platform, the digital way of connecting people together. So we do not focus on one segment to solve the youth hiring problem, because something we realized in the past 5 years is that this is not a one-way problem that can be solved with just one solution. We are kind of a communal platform that's going to have multiple segments of avenues to solve for hiring.
So it's been over 10 years since we last met, and I know it's kind of a big ask, but could you fill me in on what your entrepreneurial journey has been? Like, how did you start?
I think when I was back in the day studying alongside you, I never thought I would end up being an entrepreneur so early in my journey. Okay, back in the day, all I knew was I wanted to be someone known, big. I was very clear of that. So when I graduated, I think I graduated with quite a good amount of laurels there, and I had this subtle hope that, when I graduate, I'll end up getting a very good opportunity, inshallah. But guess what? Didn't happen so. like 6 months, I wouldn't get any offer. And that's when I think the rate started building up. And my one of the closest professors, she walked in and she said, "What are you doing with your life right now?" I said, "Job hunting." And she's like, "That doesn't suit you at all. Is there a way you could think of being an entrepreneur?" And I was like, what is an entrepreneurship? Like, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was, but I had a clear idea of what business women do or businessmen do. And I said, you know what? Sounds very exciting. I should perhaps explore what entrepreneurship is. And one of the rule of entrepreneurship that stood out to me is that it's not a journey of pursuing it all by yourself alone. It's so much more fun if you do it together. So I was looking around, I was like, who can be my business partner, you know? And so happens that one of the other craziest person in the class that I would know of was Aksa. I already knew that, yeah, I can definitely think of her being a very competent, business partner alongside me. And I went and I said to her, look, there is this problem. And I also asked her, are you working? Did you get a job? And she didn't. She was freelancing and she was equally good. And we both were facing the similar issue. And then we went and we did a survey with 40 of our classmates and none of them got hired either for the 6 months. And it made me so angry that you needed someone in the organization that you knew to get an opportunity. So I was like, then is the world going to miss out on a talented people like ourselves just because it doesn't have its system sorted? We said, what can we do to solve this problem? And is it something we can pull off? And we're so ambitious, we're like, done. We can definitely do it.
The ambition of youth.
Yes. And then we set up, and I think it's history now.
So something about you that's changed since we last met over 10 years ago was that you wear the niqab now.
I still do.
So, and I believe that you're the only niqabi on the Forbes 30 under 30 list as well.
Yes.
And I would like to know if that's shaped your journey with, building your own business at all.
Absolutely, 100 and I don't know, 90%, you might say. It's something that goes with my identity today. I feel like nothing should ever stand as a barrier for an ambitious person, right? A huge part of it, I would say that I would credit to the UAE leadership. The beauty of this nation enables people to drive themselves forward with their skill sets over your race, your culture, skin tone, shape of the body. Like, none of that truly matters. And that's the beauty of this country. And I think that kind of pushes you forward to say, you know what, I can, practice what I love to practice, what I believe, and at the same time be a service to the community and inspire sisters who would love to also serve the community in their comfort zone. Because sometimes covering too much, too less is again a choice that is up to the women who's going to take up. And I want to say that it's okay. Whatever you choose, be true to yourself in the journey, and the right people and the right opportunities will always fall in place. And sometimes, yes, you need to stand up for yourselves. And those are moments of testing your true passion for what you're, taking up for yourself. It's a way of honoring the women. So for me, I wear it with absolute honor. And yes, it's part of me.
So speaking of the challenges that you faced along your journey, what were the challenges that you faced during your initial setup phase? And how did you overcome them?
I think that's a list of 100. But I'll tell you the common themes. Zero funding, zero network, zero infrastructure, zero experience. Every reason to give up, every reason to say, this is not for us.
And what kept you going?
I think the spirit, for some reason, there was a calling, inner calling in both me and Aksa. We were like, this is something we will solve. This is something only we are chosen to solve. Why? Simply because we're the young people. And we understand young people like no other. And when we did our R&D across all the solutions that existed in the country or in the world, we saw that oftentimes it's the older generation trying to help the younger generation and solve it for them than the person who's going through the pain solving it for themselves. We were able to solve 99 of those problems I'm talking about. In that 100 list, if I may say, 99 of them are solved.
Speaking of which, what does the business look like now that you've ticked 99 off of those 100 list of challenges?
Alhamdulillah, today the business is in the stage of growth, expansion. We're looking for how to grow it in a bigger market, how to close bigger projects, how do we increase the impact, how can we bring technology to it to amplify that at a global stage. And I think it's about building the strong team, because Alhamdulillah, today we have a fantastic team for today. But then we need to also be prepared for the team of tomorrow.
So, final question, bringing it back full circle. If you could go back to when we were 15, what's the advice that you would give yourself?
I would just say to my younger self that remain curious, remain cautious about the type of people you collect in the journey, and please never stop being ambitious, because that was one of the biggest thing that pushed Maimuna so far.
Maimuna, this was one heck of a reunion. Thank you so much for catching up with me today.
First of all, Tamanna, thank you so much for really inviting. Something I really want to add on there here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to emphasize something that Tamanna kept on saying to all of us, which is, this is the only person who was nice to me in my childhood. I know she said it like multiple times, but I really want to clarify.
I'm being outed, oh my God.
Right. No, I really want to tell that to the world, right? Tamanna was someone who was crazy at her young age. And because she was crazy, oftentimes based on the norms of school standards, they would just not be able to accept her and say that, yeah, the crazy girl. And there was this Maimuna version of me. I think that's what she's trying to say all the time, right? Like, she was the only person nice to me. I was nice to her. You know why? And I think it still stands true to my leadership today as well, is that I have space, like, I don't know, big as ocean, to embrace people for who they are. Because every human is so unique. Every person has potential, and you never know how this kickstart to the journey, right? And the same Tamanna, if I'm meeting you after 10 years today, she's the host of this series. She's actually doing fabulous work. Trust me on this, that the teacher back in the day did not believe in this version of Tamanna. They could not have envisioned, right? They couldn't have. They can't even think. I'm sure they'll be shocked. They'll be shocked if you actually went to them, right?
Okay, the two of us are dropping everything after this, and we are going to our old school.
All right. Okay, they wouldn't. I'm dead sure they wouldn't, right? And that's how you surprise people in life, right? And then you always need to remember the people of your roots, reconnect back to them, just like how beautifully she reconnected back to me and actually honored me. I am absolutely thinking this is inspirational, because kindness goes a long way.
It does.
And today you can see a fruit of it, but I'm sure you will pay it forward. I'm sure I'll pay it forward. Now
I'm going to do my best. My absolute best.
Yes.
Let this be a lesson. Be nice to people in school.
Because you never know.
You never know.
And I think I'm going to pay it forward, where I'll be more conscious when I'm dealing with people because of the story you shared.
Before you leak any more information about the way I was in school, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for making an appearance on the Nukta podcast. I cannot wait to see where you go.
I did it for you. Let me just tell them that. I really, really did it for you.